I'm making this video on the day that Arsenal carried the EPL trophy. Yeah, EPL trophy for 2025-2026 season, and we won the league by 7 points. If you support us now, you can text me. I'll probably do some things for you free. Yeah. So today we'll be speaking about NNPC, and so what it takes to get into NNPC, the different stages, right, and what people who have gotten inside did, right, that you can do. I was made to understand that the exams were simple. Like, it was reiterated again and again and again and again that it was simple. I think it comprised of 50 questions, but you can't really remember the time. But about 50 questions, and all of them I supposed to finish before the time, right? The interview is at Abuja, and I think I mentioned that. But the thing I didn't mention is that they are going to give you 100,000 naira to cushion your transport, right? For irrespective of where you go from. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to anyone watching, and I'm making this video on the day that Arsenal carried the EPL trophy. Yeah, EPL trophy for 2025-2026 season, and we won the league by 7 points. You know the team that finished 10th? I wouldn't talk about that. See, up Gunners, up Gunners. If you support us now, you can text me. I'll probably do some things for you free. Yeah, in solidarity. But yeah, welcome to another graduate trainee episode, right? Don't mind my jersey, don't worry. But it's the jersey of champions, right? So, yeah, graduate training series. If this is if this is the first video you're watching from me, we make videos about graduate trainees, and graduate training is just that pathway where you do not need to have experience before you get into big firms in the country. Really, we've done quite a number of graduate training videos, right? UBA, Access Bank, KPMG, all of those. Please just check. And there is a particular video. It's graduate training webinar, right? It houses everything what you would need before you even apply to to the things you need to do so that you can increase your chances of applying. And today we'll be speaking about a very major firm, right? It's an oil and gas firm. Everybody in my country wants to work in oil and gas, and rightfully so, because they pay handsomely well. Their remuneration is quite better than their counterparts, right? So today we'll be speaking about NNPC, and so what it takes to get into NNPC, the different stages, right, and what people who have gotten inside did, right, that you can do. I speak to people who have gotten in. I kind of have one or two friends in most places, and I also have people who refer people to me to say that, hey, you can talk to somebody like this and all of that. And that's exactly what I've done concerning NNPC. Spoke to quite a number of people who say, what did you do? What did you do? Then I distill everything into this video. So yes, please. So it starts with the assessment, right? It starts with the assessment, and the last process was in 2024, started in 2024, ended in 2025, and the mail for assessment was sent on the 27th of November 2024 to be written on the 7th of December 2024. Now, you need to know that the assessment is physical, but it should be in your state, right? For example, if you're residing in, say, Lagos State, there are different centers in Lagos State, Ibadan, Kano, different centers in different part of the country, right? So you just go there to write the exam, right? So when you get there, there is something called accreditation that you're going to do, right? Accreditation is just making sure that the person that registered online is the same person coming to write the exam. It's not someone else coming to write for you. So you're going to go there with your invitation letter. Your invitation letter is usually the I think the mail that will be sent to you, or that has been sent to you prior to the day of the exam. So you want to print that out to be on the safe side, really. You want to print that out and then show them. And I think if you have to come with some specific IDs, I think they're also going to tell you in the mail, really. All of this is just giving you an heads up. They should send detailed emails following each of these processes, right? So, and when you finish the accreditation, they mentioned that they finish everyone's accreditation before anybody starts exam, right? They finish it. So it takes yeah, you'd have to be patient, right? You have to be quite patient. And I was made to understand that the exams were simple. Like it was reiterated again and again and again and again that it was simple. I think it comprised of 50 questions, but we can't really remember the time, but about 50 questions, and a lot of, all of them I spoke to finish before the time, right? I finished before the time. And it's still your normal verbal, quantitative, and all of that, right? So I think if you study basically well, I think you'll be fine with NNPC's assessment exam, right? You'll be fine. You'll be fine. All of them that I spoke to finished before the time. Before the time. And I think yes, it was because the next stage and the mail for the success of the assessment test was sent 9th of December. So that's just 2 days after the assessment. So that's pretty fast. If you ask me, that's pretty fast. Now, the next level is the interview. And a proof that the test was quite simple and it wasn't just that they were forming it is that um, there were quite a lot of people at the interview stages, right? Maybe at least someone knows someone that went for an NPC's interview. Someone knows someone that went for an NPC's interview. And the interview took place at NNPC Towers, um, NNPC Towers in Abuja, CBD Abuja, yeah. NNPC Limited Corporate Headquarters, NNPC Towers at Central Business District in Abuja. Now, the interview for the invite came on the 17th of December, and it was slated to hold between, it was a window, 14th and 30th. So you see that between 14th and 30th, that's about 2 weeks, right? And they were doing interviews consistently. I don't know if they did during weekends too, but so you know that there was quite a number of people to be interviewed, right? And the way the interview went was in basically you can summarize it under 3 sections, right? HSC and safety, competency-based interview, and then questions regarding your course of study in school, right? So if you're an engineer, if you did mechanical engineering in school, you should expect questions on that. If you did GIS in school, you should expect questions on that. You did accounting, you did finance, you did any of these things, you should expect questions around that. And then you should expect questions around HSE, quality assurance, safety. Again, that's not my forte. So it's not like, but expect something like that. So it means that you have to understand either you did engineering or not, you did safety or not, you need to study about it. You need to understand it. You need to be able to speak to what HSC and safety means because, I mean, you're going to an oil and gas firm, so you should. And then competency based, I've written quite a number of threads on competency based on my X timeline. I'm going to drop the X timeline, my ex account. So you should go there, you should read what is expected of you. And I've always mentioned that see, it's just about thinking. It's about thinking. If they give you a scenario to say if a leader is not around, what do you do? It's about thinking. It's not really that you found yourself in that position. It's that you can think your way out of that position. It's that you can apply the necessary rigors, right? The necessary thinking to bail you out of that issue, right? Flawlessly. Um, yeah, and I think that you will. Um, I think for the interview, you will take some documents with you, and they will also send it in emails, right? Um, SSC certificate, NYSC certificate, government issued ID card, and some other documents. Again, it's going to be sent in your mail, right? But these are the specific things that you have to take. And the reason why you're taking documentation is that they can, I think your NYSC, yes, yeah, I mentioned that, right? The reason why you're taking documents is they just want to be sure that what they asked in the first time when you applied is still is correlating, right? It correlates to what you currently have, and because you can of course, documentation. If you don't have your required documents, you can be disqualified, right? So again, it starts with your test. The test is not so hard. It's about 50 questions. Then it goes to your interview, HSC competency based, and your questions around what you studied in school, then yeah, documents to take along, and not to forget, the interview is at Abuja, and I think I mentioned that. But the thing I didn't mention is that they are going to give you 100,000 naira to cushion your transport, right? For irrespective of where you go from, right? They're going to give you 100,000 naira to cushion your tea fare. And also, I think after the whole thing, they send you a feedback form, right? Just try to fill the feedback form. I don't think the feedback form should have any consequence, but again, you want to dot your I's and cross your T's, right? So please just try to do that. And I think I'm not expanding so much on the interviews because I've done so much. I've explained so much about interviews, and maybe I will be taking them one by one later on the channel. But if you go to that graduate webinar, you're going to. I advise anyone watching this, either this is your first time or not your first time. I advise anyone watching this to watch that graduate webinar because it has everything packed. It's not that I I did something for specific firms. It's something that can be applied across every firm once it is graduate training. Once it is graduate training. So yeah, that's just it with NNPC. And of course, you know that if you get into NNPC, it's a very great one. It's a very great one. It's a very great one. So please lock in, do your best, and I hope at the end of the day you will have cause to be happy, just like Arsenal fans are happy today. Yeah. Thank you and have a wonderful, wonderful week.